Hi guys, how you doing? Senior Gaming here, and in today's episode I'm bringing you Blade Idol and we're gonna discuss how damage is actually calculated. So if you're a Blade Idol player or perhaps you idle gamer, consider subscribing to this channel as I try to post as often as possible, and occasionally I'm even doing my best to bring you guys some value. So having that out of the way, let's get straight to the video. So to understand how damage is calculated, I'm gonna explain to you all the basic principle how we're gonna go ahead and start increasing our damage output, but there will be also some options that we got influence over, and I tell you which should we choose and why. Right, so the damage in the game itself is calculated as follows. So normally what we do, we take our base attack amount, which I'm gonna show you where it is in a second, and then we're gonna start multiplying that amount by a first modifier of attack, and then we're gonna multiply that by a second modifier of attack, and then by third, by fourth, and so on. As you're gonna start progressing within a game, you're gonna actually start unlocking more and more different attack modifiers, and I'll show you them in just a second. So let's just go to a very beginning. So if we hit a growth section, and in a first growth section, your first statistic cannot really be missed, and this is a flat attack. And this is our base attack amount. So as you see, I'm currently like 2000 points away from having it maxed on level 15,000. But bear in mind, this cap is being raised as you're gonna progress within the game. But we also got that when it comes to level up, you see this is obviously first stat, I've got it maxed out on level 4000, and that gives me a 40,000 base amount of attack. Plus a growth over 67,000, so let's just call it we've got well over 100k when it comes to base attack amount. So then from this point, we're gonna go ahead and multiply that by a first attack modifier. And the easiest way to just sort of check out the first attack multiplier, we're gonna go ahead to inventory, and we're gonna go into a weapon. I'm gonna scroll down and discuss the weapon I'm currently gearing. So this is obviously a latest God weapon on maximum level of 250, and this is currently where my attack stands. So as you see now, from my 100,000 of base attack amount, now I will multiply that with increased attack percentage. So as you see, this is no longer attack, this is now attack percentage. And just by equipping this effect, we actually increasing that by 6.2 million, which is quite a lot. That's a good amount to increase with. But also what we can do, we can even further increase this amount. So if you go into actually options of the weapon itself, and if we hit just question mark, because I'm already gearing a super critical damage. So if we check that out, actually one of the options you can choose from, it's further increase attack percentage. And as you see on a God level, we can have a 5,000 in one slot, meaning I could potentially get another 20,000%, which is not too much, consider we got here 6.2 million. But that's sort of your second option to increase that only modifier. But also if we check our skin, and currently the one I'm wearing is increasing attack percentage by a further 100,000%. Obviously if we check, for example, the last one, is another 1.2 million. So everything I have just shown you, it's only a first attack modifier. So obviously, again, as mentioned, base attack amount will be multiplied by whole amount of this attack percentage. And then we're gonna multiply that with a second modifier. And let me just show you quickly what could be potentially your second modifier. So if we go back to a change option, again question mark, then I could potentially choose upgrade option attack, and having that at 50%, meaning 200% of upgrade option attack would be my second attack modifier. So basically this is gonna be one of your first one when you're gonna just start playing a game. And then as you're gonna start progressing, then you're gonna start unlocking accessory. And even if I'll check the first accessory, now we're talking about upgrade accessory attack percentage. And this is gonna be your another multiplier that all the amount we have got already multiply, now will multiply of further another 5%. And then you're gonna unlock ego, and ego have another ego attack of 340%, which means now that everything we have gathered so far, we're gonna multiply that now by another attack multiplier. Then you're gonna unlock another content of the game, and we're gonna multiply that again by another different attack multiplier. So again, just to understand fully all the attack different multipliers, all you need to do is just head over to a top of your screen and hit that magnifying glass. And then if you just go from all the statistics, obviously what we're gonna consider here, we've got our attack, as mentioned earlier, well over 100,000, okay? We then talked about increased attack, which we got total of 7.6 million. And then we've got actually upgrade final attack, 1,500%. We've got upgrade core attack, 475%. We've got upgrade option attack, pet attack, and so on and so on. And as I mentioned, just to start off, we always take a basic amount of attack and then multiply that with a different attack multipliers. And as you can clearly see, there is just quite a lot of these different attack multipliers. And as you're gonna progress within the game, you're gonna unlock more and more content, and this is when you're gonna become more powerful. And then just lastly, what I mentioned earlier, we actually got some influence when it comes to choosing some of these statistics. So when it comes to inventory, and I go back to equipment and weapon, I have recently put out a video. If you have not seen it, check it out. You know, what best options you can go when it comes to equipment. So I talked weapon, gloves, armor, helmet. But again, coming back in here, as you see, considering we increased attack already by 6.2 million, and then if we can choose another option and having 20,000, I believe the better option is to choose upgrade option attack for that matter, as this is a statistic which you cannot have from any gear or anything else. This can be only found choosing option and rolling a dice. So therefore, there is a bigger damage output from increasing another multiplier, even if you want to increase it from 100% to a 200%, rather than increasing attack percentage from 6.2 million to 6.3 million. Because as we mentioned earlier, we multiply a multiplier. So you want to be diversified as much as possible, and therefore you'll be choosing different option. And that's why, as well, as you see, we've got a super critical damage chosen for this particular case, as again, super crit can be increased via statistics, but also this is something which is gonna massively boost your damage. You know, when it even comes to a god option here, we're talking only about 200%, and there would be no point of increasing attack percentage even further, as you know, just your equipped weapon gives you so much boost. So therefore, your options which you want to choose has to be these ones which are pretty much hardest to get, and your percentage is lowest when it comes to statistics. But as I mentioned in the previous video, when it comes to this option, if you got a chance, you should always aim for this a super critical damage, and if not, you should go for upgrade option attack. Again, if we just quickly have a look on the magnifying glass, currently where I stand, as you see, my upgrade option attack is only on 268% in comparison to increased attack of 7.6 million. So therefore, as you see, this is a very, very small percentage that you want to increase further, because this is just another multiplier. Okay, so we have used quite a lot of word of attack and multiplier, but I hope I made it clear for yourself now, so you know what you can aim for, and obviously it's important that you're gonna save your dice and try to land this best option possible to get best damage output possible. Alright then, guys, once again, I hope you found this useful. If you have, consider subscribing, and as always, I will see you next time.